If the next few years and generation of consoles tells us anything, it's that role-playing games are still very much in demand. From action RPGs and turn-based strategy to tactical combat and even shooters, the sheer amount of variety on offer is insane. Granblue Fantasy Relink. Based on Cygames' popular mobile franchise, Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG for PS4. Featuring music by Final Fantasy series composer Nobuo Uematsu, it includes familiar characters like Gran and Catalina, but takes place in a different location. For now, all we know is that Platinum Games handled the combat part of the game and 4-player co-op is supported, though you can also play solo with 3 AI squad mates. Granblue Fantasy Relink releases sometime in 2020. Next Trails game. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 is yet to be localized for the West, but Falcom is moving on to the next game. The unnamed Trails title will feature new characters and is being developed on a new engine. It's essentially more of a spin-off title, but given that the continent of Zemuria was showcased, there should be plenty of references for fans of Trails in the Sky and Cold Steel. The Japanese version will be released by September 2020, but it'll be a while before it comes to the West. Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. The latest chapter in Falcom's critically acclaimed Ys series, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox, is expected to arrive for PS4 in the West by September 2020. That's going by the developer's trend of Ys localizations. Ys 8's terrible localization at launch aside, there's plenty of hope for this, especially given Adol Kristen's travel to the prison city, dealing with the mysterious monstrum, and making use of improved movement and combat abilities. Tales of Arise. A Tales game with a bigger budget, Tales of Arise focuses on 2 worlds, Dana and Rena, and the conflicts between their citizens, Alphen and Shion, respectively. While the linear motion battle system combat has been retained, Tales of Arise features lusher visuals courtesy of Unreal Engine 4. There's still a lot that we don't know, but it looks pretty fantastic at this point. It's out in 2020 for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Cyberpunk 2077. One of the biggest games of 2020, Cyberpunk 2077 is also CD Projekt Red's biggest game till date. As an FPS/RPG, it takes players to the far-flung Night City, where technology, corruption, and rock reign supreme. As V, players will perform various jobs, crafting their backgrounds from 3 major life paths, and making choices that impact the fate of the city. Of course, you're also tasked with unraveling the mystery of Johnny Silverhand and his mission to burn the city, which should be its own barrel of cyber nightmares. Cyberpunk 2077 is out on April 16, 2020 for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. In development for years and years, Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord will finally release into early access in March of 2020. There is a metric ton to look forward to though. Choosing different soldier classes and customizing them with points, marrying and having children who can become the new player character if you die, improved dialogue options, and expanded siege warfare for designating different targets and building siege engines. It's more complex than the original, but should still scratch that itch of building up an army of mercenaries and seizing the land through intrigue and bloody battle. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Goku and friends return, yet again, battling the forces of evil while protecting the Dragon Balls. Perhaps the most defining feature of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, besides its action RPG approach, is that it covers all of the major battles, from the Raditz Saga to the Buu Saga. You'll be taking on quests, training, battling, and powering up, eventually going Super Saiyan and embracing the power of fusion. And really, what more do you need? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot arrives on January 17, 2020 for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Final Fantasy VII Remake. In terms of massive releases for next year, despite technically only being Part 1, Final Fantasy VII Remake is easily a contender. Along with massively revamped visuals, Square Enix is overhauling the story presentation and combat, the latter being real-time but featuring some turn-based options. On top of that are more minigames, events, and so on, bringing the classic JRPG to life as fans have always wanted. Final Fantasy VII Remake releases on March 3, 2020 for PS4. XENOBLADE Chronicles Definitive Edition. We would have been satisfied with an enhanced port for the Switch, but XENOBLADE Chronicles Definitive Edition goes much further. It features vastly revamped visuals, from improved player models and environments to superior textures. The initial reveal trailer even offers a glimpse of what seems to be cut content from the original being added. The definitive edition is currently set to release sometime in 2020, and hopefully we'll learn more about it soon. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. Imagine Shin Megami Tensei's combat mixed with Fire Emblem heroes as spirits, coupled with dance and pop performances. That's kind of what Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore offers as players battle against an interdimensional evil in modern-day Tokyo with supernatural mirages. As yet another Wii U title coming to Switch, the port will include new songs and story content. Look for it to be released on January 17th, 2020. Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is an enhanced version of the critically and commercially acclaimed RPG. On top of adding new events, interactions, enemies, and Persona, it also drops in a new character, Kasumi Yoshizawa, who eventually joins the Phantom Thieves. While the jury is still out on how well Kasumi is implemented, Persona 5 Royal is still worth the price of admission, especially for new players. It releases on March 31st, 2020 for PS4, with all of the original game's DLC being free. System Shock Remake. Yes, it faced development troubles due to feature creep and effectively restarted as a tighter, more focused game, but Night Dive Studios' work on the Enhanced Edition gives us hope, especially given how good the visuals for the remake are looking. With all of the original content, some contemporary improvements like less mazes in some levels, and writer Chris Avallone sprucing up the dialogue, System Shock Remake could be a dark horse when it releases in Q1 2020 for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Vampire the Masquerade – Bloodlines 2. A sequel that never seemed likely, Vampire the Masquerade – Bloodlines 2 ventures back to the world of darkness, but this time in Seattle. As a new thin-blood vampire, you're caught up in the conflict between factions following a massive attack by vampires on humans. You'll choose a clan, receive different abilities and powers, and also decide which faction to ally with. Choices, especially through dialogue, will have an impact and influence the story moving forward, thus adding to the replay value. Though pushed back from its original March 2020 date, Vampire the Masquerade – Bloodlines 2 is still slated to release next year for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Nioh 2. Team Ninja's Souls-like action RPG finally returns, and while Nioh 2 is similar to the original in many ways, from the basic combat and stances to many weapon types, it packs a whole lot that's new. A new yokai form can be exploited to unleash powerful new abilities. Weapons have new moves and new variants like yokai weapons that cause corruption, new bosses and enemy types, and of course, a brand new story. It's out on March 13th, 2020 for PS4. Wasteland 3. In Exile's tactical turn-based RPG aims to be its biggest release ever, venturing to Colorado with a new ranger unit and heaps of trouble. Serve the Patriarch in a state overrun by chaos and snow while using new tactics, like vehicles, to gain an edge in combat. With a larger budget, multiplayer support, and revamped combat, Wasteland 3 could be the fix that tactical strategy fans have been waiting for when it releases on May 19th, 2020 for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.